Good morning, it's Ariana Newcomer, and this is Wisdom Wednesdays. I'm a Dove Oracle Priestess and certified biofield tuning practitioner. And these Wednesday talks are just me coming up with things that I think would be helpful and useful for all of you who watch and listen to these. Pulled out of my lifetime of wisdom, all the trainings that I've done, all my own experience, etc. So it came up yesterday in a client session. I was doing a tuning with someone who comes every week for tunings, and the issue of what to do when we can't forgive someone came up. She was feeling that she really needed to forgive someone in her life. Has been a very, very toxic person. She was currently not in contact with them, and yet still finding herself hung up on this idea that I have to forgive this person in order to really move forward. And sometimes it is really hard. Sometimes it is really hard to forgive. And I have a few people in my life who are like that. And it tends to be those people who are in the more primary relationships that we find it most hard to forgive, those really deep betrayals that just get us, like being stabbed in the heart or punched in the gut or stabbed in the back from someone that we didn't expect it from someone that we shouldn't be betrayed by. For instance, a partner or spouse, a parent, a child, and a healer. There was one time in my life where I was really treated badly by someone who was purportedly a healer and teaching healing. And those things tend to, I know what happens to me is that sometimes I freeze in the situation, and then later on I think of what I should have said then, and then that starts to go in a loop. It starts looping in my head, and when I realize I'm getting there, I go, oh, I'm looping on this person. And what I've developed for myself is to see them in a blue bubble. I put them in a blue bubble, and I call it the blue bubble of forgiveness. For me, it's that blue that's associated with Mother Mary, that kind of robin's egg blue. And they get to be in that blue bubble, and they get to get the love of Divine Mother, and they get to get this forgiveness, and it isn't me doing it. So I get to release and let go. I get to stop looping with what I was looping about and just see them in this blue bubble. So I offer that to you as a practice when you find yourself very angry for a long time with someone and feeling that what they did was in many ways unforgivable. Yet we know that we need to forgive and release and let go in order to move on. Try putting them in the blue bubble. Just see them in your mind's eye. Just envision this, put them in a blue bubble. I usually see them kind of curled up with their arms around their knees and their head down on their knees in the blue bubble of forgiveness. And I find that really, really helps. So another piece about forgiveness is that we tend to think that when we forgive someone, it means that we are actually condoning the behavior. This is a distinction that one of my mentors helped me make years ago, that forgiving someone doesn't mean that we're condoning the behavior. One of the things it can mean is that we're giving up the right to punish. And I liked that one too. And so to me, the blue bubble is I'm not punishing them. I'm actually giving them over to the love of the Divine Mother, that unconditional love, and that I don't have for them, that I don't feel capable of giving them. So that's a way that I feel really helps me, and it's could potentially help them too, that they're in this blue bubble of that unconditional love of Mother Divine. So forgiveness then is a way for us to let go of the issue, and using the blue bubble helps me let go of that looping and trying to figure out what I should have said in that circumstance during the betrayal that might have made a difference, right? But it's gone, it's over, it's done. And the truth is, it's not necessarily going to be helpful for me to even say the things that I think up to say after the fact to the person. So for my client, because this person is not in her life right now and she doesn't feel safe having that person in her life, this is another way for her to make the connection to be able to let go within herself so that she can move forward. Now, this forgiveness also doesn't mean that we lose the memory of what happened. However, I have found in using this technique that it reduces the intensity of the memory so that it becomes less triggering for me when I remember what happened and when I think of that person. And if I do find myself starting to get triggered again, then oh yeah, the blue bubble. I remember to put them in that blue bubble. So I would love to hear if this is helpful for you as a technique, or if you have other ways that you use to work with forgiveness for someone when it's very, very hard to do it. And there's a lot of that in the world too. So we can use these blue bubbles on anyone. We can use them on our politicians. We can use them on family members. We can use them on friends. We can use them on spouses or partners or former spouses or partners, our children. It's a really helpful and useful way so that we let go and we get to move forward. And another thing that really helps with reducing the intensity of the triggers that we have is biofield tuning. As we work with the tuning forks, with the coherent, harmonious sound of the tuning forks in the field, the tuning forks will encounter that dissonance that comes when we have those memories, those energies around something that happened to us that are out there in our biofield. And when the tuning fork encounters that, your body is listening, and your body can recognize and say, oh, there's dissonance there in my field, and I can use this harmonious sound of the tuning fork to tune myself, to create coherent, harmonious energy in my field instead of the dissonant, chaotic energy. And we are holding on to that kind of dissonant, chaotic energy, many times totally unconsciously when it's out in the field. And we can tune, we can come into alignment, and we can take that sort of snarled energy and disentangle it and return it into flow so that we can use it again, which is very, very useful and beneficial. And as much work as we do on things, I work with a lot of people who've done a lot of inner work. There still can be energy stuck out in our field around these issues. And so working with the biofield tuning, the tuning forks in the field, creates another layer, another level of healing that is really wonderful and powerful. So I'd love to talk with you about what biofield tuning could do for you. I will pop a link in the comments so that we can have a conversation. See you next time.